A special meeting of the Malay Rulers will be held on November 24th for the di-Pertuan Agong to seek their views concerning the formation of the new federal government, Bernama reports. Comptroller of the Royal Household, Datuk Sri Ahmad Fadil Samsudin, in a statement on Wednesday, said that the Agong had consented to the meeting to be held at Istana Negara. He said His Majesty also called on the people, as well as all parties, to persevere and stay calm until the process of forming the new government is completed. Ahmad Fadil said the special meeting is called following separate audiences granted to Barisan Nasional and Gabungan Parti Sarawak representatives at Istana Negara on Wednesday morning. Meanwhile, Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi had earlier denied that he will step down as BN chairman and UMNO president, as alleged in a media statement that went viral on social media. In a FB posting, Zahid called it a hoax and said that it was fabricated by an irresponsible party. Later in the day, MCA Sec General Datuk Chong Sin Woon issued a statement clarifying that the BN letter that gave support to Pakatan Harapan chairman Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim as the 10th Prime Minister was not a decision made by consensus in the BN Supreme Council meeting on November 22nd. Chong said that on the other hand, the BN Supreme Council had maintained its stand of not supporting any party for the time being, Bernama reports. Maybank saw its third quarter net profit grow by 28.5% year-on-year to 2.17 billion as the bank benefited from higher net fund and fee-based income, as well as a reduction in net impairment losses. Net operating income increased by 20.6% year-on-year to reach 7.41 billion ringgit. The stronger performance was driven by higher net fee-based income growth of 48% to 2.12 billion and a 12.2% rise in net fund-based income to 5.3 billion ringgit. Maybank saw its gross loans growth increase 8.2% year-on-year for the 9 months of FY22 from 5.6%, while net interest margin expanded 8 basis points to 2.39% amid rising interest rates. The bank reported that its gross impaired loan ratio also fell to 1.7% during that period from 1.93% previously. In a statement, Chairman Tan Sri Zamzam Zairani Muhammad Isa said that with regional economies in ASEAN charting stronger growth for the first 9 months of 2022 on normalized business activities, Maybank experienced similar expansion across its loan portfolios. As such, he remains cautiously optimistic about the rest of 2022. Group President and CEO Datuk Khairul Ramli said Maybank will drive income growth across its loan portfolio and fee income streams, as well as maintain discipline over its asset quality monitoring. He adds that while ASEAN economies are expected to continue the growth into next year, albeit at a slower pace, it will keep its strong liquidity and capital positions to manage potential downside risks that could emerge in the operating environment. Khairul says that the bank will also accelerate improvements across its 5 strategic trusts under its M25 Plus plan. Tenaga Nasional reported a 14% year-on-year drop in earnings for its third quarter amid a high fuel price environment, while foreign currency translation losses and cukai makmur weighed on earnings. Net profit for the third quarter fell to 888.9 million from 1.03 billion a year ago, despite a 47% growth in revenue to 19.07 billion ringgit. Revenue was driven mainly by higher under-recovery of imbalance cost pass-through of 6.11 billion as compared to the previous corresponding period's 1.31 billion ringgit. Operating expenses grew 51.2% year-on-year due mainly to higher generation costs. TNB said that while electricity demand grew 8.1% in the first 9 months of FY22, contributing to its resilient performance, the national utility acknowledges that challenges remain as the ongoing high fuel price environment continues to put pressure on the group's receivable balances. Even so, the national power provider anticipates a reasonable performance for the year 2022. Nevertheless, TNB remains cautious and says it has taken prudent measures in terms of its operational and financial requirements. Matrix Concepts Holdings' second quarter FY23 net profit slipped 2.4% year-on-year to 50.6 million as labour shortages weighed on construction activities. Revenue also declined to 223.35 million from the 239.48 million posted the year before. Matrix still declared a dividend of 2 cents per share. For the first half of FY23, net profit improved by 17% year-on-year to 97.61 million, while revenue grew by 12% 2% for the same period, from 402.9 million to 451.6 million ringgit. Matrix's unbilled sales stood at 1.4 billion as at end September, providing earnings visibility over the next 12 to 15 months. In the short term, Matrix said it is in the final stage of a foreign labour recruitment process and expects to fulfill the labour requirement at its construction sites by the end of the current calendar year. Going forward, the property developer expects to continue recording a healthy demand trend, particularly those within the 600,000 ringgit price range, with growing inclination for Klang Valley residents to relocate outside the city centre, made easier by remote and flexible working arrangements. Penang-based ECA Integrated Solution made a strong debut on the ACE market at 65 cent, a 282% premium to its listing price of 17 cent. The automated manufacturing solution provider was the second most actively traded stock on Bursa Malaysia, with over 144 million shares changing hands. ECA's counter closed at 75.5 cent, a more than 344% premium to its initial public offering price. ECA Executive Director and COO Chua Lai Hock says the listing marks a significant milestone in the company's corporate history and attributes its strong debut to investor confidence in its prospects. Going forward, Chua says ECA is planning to offer smart factory solutions, which he says is a natural progression for the group, as it has already been providing smart manufacturing solutions since October 2020. Of the 25.5 million raised from the IPO exercise, the biggest allocations are for the acquisition of machinery and 14 million ringgit for working capital.